Welcome back to our daily soap opera breakdown. Lukas is playing a deadly game of chess with a literal monster, and I am absolutely terrified that he has just signed his own death warrant. If you ask me, we are about to witness one of the most brutal, heart-stopping confrontations in the history of the show, and it all traces back to a dark, dusty corner of Windermere. We all know that Windermere is practically a breeding ground for gothic horror and deadly secrets, but what Lucas just uncovered while digging through Pascal's old belongings is about to change the landscape of the town forever. He was searching for anything that could give him leverage, any scrap of paper or hidden clue to help bring down the tyrannical reign of Jens. But instead, he stumbled upon something far more personal and infinitely more dangerous. Tucked away among Pascal's private things was an antique watch, a beautiful but haunting relic of the past, and when Lucas turned it over, his heart must have stopped. Engraved right there on the cold metal was the name of Dalton, the very same missing victim whose mysterious disappearance has been a dark cloud hanging over everyone. We have to talk about the sheer gravity of this discovery, because Dalton is not just some random name from the past. Dalton was the ultimate sacrificial lamb in Jens's twisted game, the man Jens cold-bloodedly executed and then masterfully used to frame Laura and Sunny. For months, this looming threat has kept Laura and Sunny backed into a corner, forcing them to fight a defensive war against an enemy who always seemed 10 steps ahead. But as Lucas held that watch, he realized the universe had just handed him the ultimate weapon. It wasn't just a sentimental piece of jewelry. As Lucas pried open the delicate backing of the antique watch, he discovered a tiny, modern piece of technology hidden within the vintage gears a memory card. When he plugged it in, the horror became all too real. There, in crisp, undeniable digital detail, was a video recording of Jens committing the unspeakable act, ruthlessly ending Dalton's life. It was the smoking gun, the absolute proof that would completely exonerate Laura and Sunny while sending Jens to prison for the rest of his miserable life. Now, any sane person would have immediately sprinted to the police station, handed the memory card to the authorities, and let the justice system do its job. But this is our beloved harbor town, where family loyalty runs thicker than water and characters constantly make the most frustratingly dangerous decisions. Instead of doing the smart thing, Lucas let his emotions dictate his next move. He looked at that footage and saw a golden opportunity to play hero, to single-handedly rescue his family from the shadow of Jens's blackmail. He decided to use the memory card as leverage, initiating a highly unauthorized, incredibly risky blackmail scheme of his own. Lucas contacted Jens directly, delivering a chilling ultimatum: pack your bags, get out of town, and leave Laura, Sunny, and everyone else alone forever, or this video goes public. It was a bold, incredibly gutsy move, but oh my goodness. Lucas completely underestimated the sheer, unadulterated madness of the man he was dealing with. What Lucas did not realize, and what is about to cost him everything, is that Jens is a paranoid psychopath who never leaves anything to chance. That antique watch was never just sitting in a drawer unprotected. Jens had secretly installed a highly sophisticated tracking device inside the casing. The moment Lucas disturbed the watch and began moving it around Windermere, a silent alarm went off in Jens's world. When Lucas made his arrogant blackmail call, Jens didn't have to guess where the evidence was or who was holding it. His tracking software pointed directly to Lucas's exact location. When Jens realized that his ultimate secret had been exposed, and that his freedom was being threatened by a doctor who should have been dead already, he absolutely lost his mind. The rage that consumed Jens was unlike anything we have ever seen before, and it set off a chain reaction of pure terror. We have to remember the history here to truly understand the depth of Jens's fury. Jens had already tried to eliminate Lucas once before. He shot Lucas multiple times, leaving him for dead, confident that the pesky doctor was out of the picture for good. But in a brilliant twist of fate, Lucas had survived that initial shooting because he had been smart enough to wear a heavy-duty bulletproof vest. Jens had been operating under the assumption that Lucas was either dead or permanently incapacitated, so finding out that Lucas was not only breathing but actively blackmailing him was a psychological sledgehammer. Jens now knows that his back is completely against the wall. The walls are closing in, the police are circling, and his entire empire is crumbling. A cornered predator is always the most dangerous, and Jens has officially decided that he has absolutely nothing left to lose. This brings us to the terrifying reality of what is happening right now. Jens is not going to run. He is going to finish the job he started. He is currently orchestrating a second, far more lethal plan to permanently silence Lucas before that damning video can ever be leaked to the authorities. Jens knows that a bulletproof vest won't save Lucas a second time if he plans the attack with ruthless precision. He is setting a trap that will push Lucas into a horrifying, life or death scenario, a situation so dire that even the best medical minds or the strongest family alliances won't be able to pull him back from the brink. Jens is executing a scorched earth policy, and Lucas is standing right in the center of the blast zone. The psychological tension here is off the charts. Think about Laura, who is already in a state of absolute panic, trying to wake Lucas up after the first shooting, and Dante, who has been receiving nothing but terrible news. If Jens succeeds in this second, highly coordinated assault, the devastating ripple effect will tear through the entire community. Sonny will go on a path of absolute, unchecked vengeance, potentially turning the streets into a war zone, while Laura will be utterly destroyed by the guilt of knowing Lucas put himself in the line of fire to protect her. And let's not forget Carly, who is currently tearing Windermere apart looking for clues about Jocelyn's kidnapping. If Carly stumbles into the middle of Jens's second attack on Lucas, she could easily become collateral damage in this horrific feud. I am sitting on the edge of my seat just thinking about how this is going to play out. Lucas thought he was being clever, thought he could force a monster to play by human rules, but he brought a scalpel to a gunfight. As Jens closes in on his target, with the tracker guiding his every step and a dark, murderous resolve in his eyes, the stage is set for an absolute tragedy. Will anyone realize the danger Lucas is in before it is too late? Can Sonny or Dante intercept Jens before he pulls the trigger for the final, fatal time? Or are we about to say a permanent, heartbreaking goodbye to Lucas as Jens ensures that this time there is no vest, no miracle recovery, and absolutely no survivors? The clock is ticking, the shadow of death is hanging over Windermere, and the next heartbeat could be Lucas's very last.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.